Hello there, welcome to another episode of Good News Mental Space. My name is Terry.
And my name is JoyEve.
And we're here back again. I hope you've been well. I hope uko fiti.
Yeah.
And for us, we're doing well. As you can see, we are having amazing hoodies. We're back again. Joy got a white one, by the way. I'm going to be rocking mine soon. But I hope you're loving this merchandise courtesy of Good News Mental Space. I tell you, we are all about grace. And that is what we do right here. To ensure that every single time we're giving you content on it, that is why we appreciate your feedback each and every time. Unatuambia tu unataka tuongele topic gani, whether you're in business, whether you're employed, or you're actually not working right now. Please let us know on the comment section so you can comment, share, like, and subscribe. And on top of that, just to remind you, we do have Instagram lives every single week, mostly on Tuesdays, but now we're gonna see whether Wednesday pin is a work, from 9:30 all the way to maybe 11, and we do the same topics but around grace. That is why we keep telling you, do you have a problem? Do you need help? That is why it is good to reach out to Good News Mental Space across all social media platforms. Just DM to hapo na utaweza kusaidiwa, si ndio Joy?
Yeah, definitely.
All right. First of all, the white hoodie looks really good on you.
Thank you.
It's fine. No one each other, but it's okay. It's fine. It's fine. But I'm so excited for today's episode. As we love to talk and tackle about grace. And before we actually get there, please tukumbusha about the Grace Forum again, because we will never get tired of mentioning it.
Grace Forum is a grace community, as we had spoken about it last time. So we have mentioned that it is a space where anyone can come in and actually have that space where they can actually grow in grace, you know, whether you are going through some stuff, but if you just have a desire to actually understand how grace affects your different areas, whether it's relationships or it's business. So it is a community where you can actually experience this. It's a community where you can actually experience all that.
And I love what you're saying, because sometimes you're not even struggling. You just want to understand more about grace. And I remember our technician, our producer on the other end, we do actually have a gallery on the other side. But I remember after we were done recording, and it's like, I've never seen grace like that. Please define it to me. So it's really amazing. It could be you're not struggling, but you just want to find out more about grace. And that is why I keep telling you, there's Grace Forum, there's Business Forum. I think this second season we've been really concentrating much on people in business. So it could be you're there, you're in your career, you're in the marketplace, or you're actually not even employed at the moment, but you're just looking forward to not being stuck, but being in a progress. You're progressing towards something. So this could be that platform for you. There's also the Men's Forum.
There's the Men's Forum.
Oh my, meet your fellow men and just talk and hang out and just talk more about grace, you know. So it could be a community you're looking for, and this is that platform for you. So whatever it is, slide to kwa DM, usiogope, just get in and ask any details. It could be even therapy sessions you're looking forward to. Maybe you're a couple or yourself, physical, virtual, any is applicable. And even for kids therapy, family, friends, anyone, just reach out to Good News Mental Space. Tutasaidika sana. Let's get to today's episode. If you would title this episode, I think you can call it Leaning on Grace. Because every time you keep telling you rest, Joy and I repeating, in fact tutamtolea wimbo, rest, go to grace, allow grace to define you. But Joy, today, even before we get to leaning on grace, because it's something we do every day, you choose to lean on that grace. Why do you think we don't lean on this grace?
Because I think most of the times, you know, like grace is such a new concept, you know? And I think we have been taught other things. We have been taught, you know, the power of actually working so hard. You know, that aspect where you want to take it. I've seen even memes where the person is duplicated into two.
Oh, yeah.
So
I've seen that too.
And then one person is seated, you're seated on the ground, and then the other person is standing and then tapping them or trying to help them up and saying, you know, just I'm the only one who's supposed to be motivating myself to actually, you know, rise up. And we've seen so many people, not everyone is actually in that energy level to be able like to help themselves. And
True.
you know, sometimes most of the people actually need to get to a place where they know there's somebody, you know, they need to be able to look to something different other than themselves, you know. So because of the things you've been taught, you know, you're supposed to be lifting yourself, bro, uko peke yako, sis, uko peke yako. And so many people who actually feel alone end up actually going through that process. And I think that's why today we actually need to understand grace is not just something that you receive at first or believe at first, but then it's something that you consistently lean on, whether it is in career and everything. The time you realize something is getting hard, ask yourself, am I really leaning on grace or on my strength? You know, and I think that's why we actually need to talk about it today, you know?
And the importance of leaning on it. And I love what you're saying. It's not just a point of receiving and just being comfortable and sitting, but it's something that every single day, whether you're faced with a situation, whether it's you in your happy moment, you still lean on, you know, tunaongeanga ni kama ni kuteseka tu ndio unahitaji neema. But even in your happy moment, sometimes you're so overwhelmed by things and you actually need that grace. But let me throw it to maybe firstborns, because I see a lot of firstborns who everyone is leaning on you.
I know.
Every single one. And not only just your siblings, even your aunties, wanajonga huyo ndio ameomoka, huyo ndio kona do. So you find yourself always like the entire family is leaning on you, and you're not leaning on anywhere else. It's just you. Vile umesema ni wewe na ni wewe tu. You're on the other side unajinua na you're on the other side expecting yourself to be okay.
I mean, like, that's something that I have been affected myself. Where you know, like, way before you're firstborn, and you know, it's like you're born with expectations already. It's like you're ready. Everyone is like waiting and telling you, you know, you're the one who's supposed to ensure like you have done this, you're upright, you know, you need to be the one showing everyone that there's education, that you know, there's so much expectation, you know, and it's pretty hard, you know, when you feel like in your mind like you're the one who always gets the harsh treatment because you're expected to actually do something. But the other ones, they're like, you know, like it's more lenient for them. And I know so many firstborns, not just firstborns, I think even like just men in families,
it's true,
you know, there's a lot of expectation on them, and that's why the more we actually need to bring into perspective where grace comes in, where men or firstborns or somebody just didn't respond, even like employers, you know, and you know, or an employee who has a specific department and you feel like everyone is looking to you, like there are moments where you need to be able to know that there's somewhere you can lean on every day, that you're never alone, you know, and you can actually get help. You are not alone. The time you feel you're not alone, it becomes a time where you can actually become where you are meant to be, you know.
You've touched on employment. Let me just say, if at all you're listening or watching right now, have you ever been given a task at work? You know, you've been tasked or you're told, okay, now Joy, you're going to be the team leader of this. You're entrusted with the whole team and you're looking at, oh, wow. Maybe, you know, and sometimes you tend to feel that pressure. Let's just be honest. It's there. Sometimes you will say, I'm good, but that pressure is there and it gets to you. But like you're saying, knowing that you're not alone and having that realization is when now you say, you know what, God, okay, now I'm leaning on you. Fine, I've been tasked this, but I am leaning on you. And you've touched on men, and more reasons why we are saying more men should actually join men's forum. I think most times you keep complaining and saying women are celebrated more, women are, you know, we encouraged more, empowered more. But if we have platforms such as men's forum where we can have men who come offload that pressure, where you're saying, Manze may have the entire family leaning on me. I am also educating my siblings. The whole family is, you know, is on my end. But if maybe someone who's listening to us or watching and they're not mostly affected in those areas, but that pressure is on them. Yani ni wao wameji pressure wao wenyewe. So how do they get out of that? Because sometimes it's not even, you're not a firstborn, no one is leaning on you in terms of family. Ni wewe tu.
I think somebody who's not a firstborn, one of the things they find themselves in is, now the firstborns have already like achieved all these things, and you're there, and you're like, it's like you're trying, it's like somebody's telling you need to have reached this person's level, or you need to go into this career, you need to do this, you know, like all of a sudden you have this pressure of actually achieving other people's achievements, you know, and everyone always gets to that. There's no one who actually does not have pressure. And I think one of the things we need to remind ourselves is grace. What is really grace? You know, and I think grace is really God working, God's strength, you know, and where God's strength is actually preeminent in your life, allowing God's strength to actually carry you through, because it's better God's strength than your strength. It's better His working than your own working. You know, it can be hard because we've been hammered so many times.
For sure.
Lean on your strength. You need to achieve, you need to force and everything, and you are like, you can't do it, but then God's strength is more than able to achieve the things that that's supposed to be done. So that's why, like, you lean on God's strength, you lean on grace. Grace is where God is working, and He's working because it's like His strength has been given to you as a gift. His strength is like, it's not something you have to earn, it's not something you have to, it's just have to receive His strength in your life and allow God to work for you because of His grace. You know?
It's freely given, as you keep reminding us always and all the time. Like umesema, you know, leaning on our own strength. Hapo ndipo kungangana, kukazana, kupambana. People just call someone and that's what they tell you. Ukaje, mina pambana tu.
I know.
Ami niko mina kazana tu. Endelea kukazana because you're using your own strength. That's why you keep getting fatigued and tired and weary. And as we remind ourselves about the word of God, you know, He keeps telling us that He will renew our strength because that strength on your own you can't. You even us seated here, you know, just having this conversation, it's just by God's strength and grace.
Definitely.
That's how we are able to do this. But Joy, as we always say, we cannot fail to talk about grace because that's why we're here. Good News Mental Space is all about grace. So how does leaning on grace look like? Paint for us that picture.
Alright, so basically grace is God's working. So I think one of the things that we need to always every day, and we talk about the identity, you know, and actually, like, every time you feel like, because most of the times achievement comes with looking to ourselves sometimes, you know, feeling like you need to do something, and that frustration comes with looking to ourselves. But now when it comes to grace, we see ourselves in the Christ identity, and we realize if we see ourselves as Christ, we realize that God is actually working for us. So meaning we will expect, you know, immediately after you just enter into that zone, most of the times everything just starts flowing. You'll if God is not working in you, He'll work through you, He'll work for you. So if that situation is supposed to actually work out through you, it will definitely, you'll start seeing, you know, like, you'll start like realizing your mind is more clearer. And I think later on we'll talk about, you know, the grace identity, being able to be the source of a clear mind. But I think one of the things I also tell my clients who are very frustrated, you know, they want to start business and everything, I tell them, you know, first have a clear mind. You cannot do business with stress, anxiety.
Your mind has to rest.
Your mind has to be at peace, so that now, and peaceful, so that you can think properly. So what grace does, it gives you a place of peace, so that even if God is working, you can be able, like, to see those ideas. You can have even the strength to do it. You know, you can expect favor. You know, like, it's like a bubble of peace, and then you are not afraid of humble beginnings. You know, because also that anxiety comes with fear. Oh, I need to do this, and no, sometimes you actually need to just start and allow yourself to just, you know, rise and that progress means peace, you know, and when you are there, it becomes more easier, you know.
I love what you're saying, because I know many people who, you know, tangu corona, there are people who began their businesses until today they have never gone back to employment, and they are thriving. However, there are some who are still struggling. You find, yes, the vision came from God, but the results are not as much fulfilling. You know, you're expecting by now, by almost end of the year, you should have been doing something, and maybe that's not what you're having. So let's talk about that, because there's that pressure that comes in. You're thinking your employees are looking at you, you know, at the end of the month they're expecting something, and maybe the whole of the month your business has been a bit struggling. So how does that person lean on God, even though they began the vision from God, but sahi, it's a bit struggling? So how do they lean on grace?
God's vision comes with God's word, it only comes with God's results. You can't achieve God's results. God has to achieve his own results. That's why it's called you let God glorify himself. Let him glorify yourself. I said resting doesn't necessarily, which we will talk after, resting doesn't necessarily like sitting down. It means allowing him to work in you, through you, and for you. And when he works, he does a good job, because there are things that honestly you need to achieve, and these big results, and it can never be achieved by limited strength. You know, sometimes you do need God's wisdom, God's favor. There's so many things, you know, that come. So if you want God's results, you need to allow God to work. And it just comes by allowing grace. Grace meaning let him work. Be justified by Christ. Receive the Christ identity. See yourself as Christ. When you see yourself as Christ, you see God seeing you as Christ.
Love that.
And when you go with that mentality, you say, I'm God's child. Can God's child really not receive from God? But when you go as yourself, when you go as yourself, and then you see your mistake or your bad, but when you see yourself as Christ, as he is, so am I, and you will expect that you'll have that idea by that time. You will expect, that's the only way you actually have like results coming your way, because you see yourself as Christ, you see yourself in his righteousness, in his perfection, in everything, you know, as a gift as well.
And one of the things the enemy really does to us is bring us to that shrinking moment of you're not able to, you're worthless, you know, and when you lean towards grace, it keeps reminding you of your identity and who you are. So if you're out there, man, and I hope that you have at least learned a thing or two from what even we are saying so far about grace and leaning on grace. And Joy, let's just take it to relationships, because you know, sometimes you're expecting to receive love and to love as well, throwing yourself out there, and sometimes it's like you're thinking, I got niache sector, let me just show you that I can select better, I have everything in control. But we really need to lean on grace.
You do, like all the way. Like I normally even tell couples, especially couples who lean on grace, if you are single, you lean on grace, and then ukapata mtu going on from there, you will need to constantly lean on grace. How to interact with them, how to give them space, how to understand how they feel. But now if you're single and you're looking together, lean on grace as well. Stop seeing, because one of the things, the time you look to yourself, you're self-conscious. One of the things that sometimes when you will be moved so much on the things that you see people are not approaching you, or even when you're approaching somebody that don't like you, and you will be so bombarded by things that you see. But then when you see yourself in Christ, you will see that God is actually working for you. You will see yourself like you deserve to actually, because you also need to know you deserve good things.
It's true.
You deserve to actually get a good person. Even when the right person comes on, you feel, hey, this person is so nice. You won't feel, I don't feel like I'm qualified. Or if they start pushing you away, you're like, no. But then when you see yourself in Christ, you will know that God intends to give you something good. You know, God intends to actually like bless you.
You actually deserve it.
And then you calm down. That person, I don't know, like somehow grace just makes you.
It's true. It just carries you.
It just carries you, and this person is just meeting by you, and then you get to the other side.
Hey, I remember there was a season in my life I had a problem receiving gifts from God. I used to feel no, that like it can't be this good God. Like why? You know, like nimefanya nini? And he would really tell me, you don't have to do anything. You don't. You're my child. You don't have to do anything.
Unajiona tu Terry. The Terry when you amefanya makosa. The Terry. The time you're self-conscious. The time you are beating yourself too much, because one of the things that grace helps in, that's why we put it into therapy, it helps achieve so many things, because one of the things we want even our clients to do, stop beating yourself too much, stop beating people around you. You know, I mean, it just helps you be kind to yourself. Receive because you're worth it. You deserve it because of Christ's identity. Christ's identity has given you like a foundation to receive all these things. And when you have that foundation, honestly, most of the times you'll always receive from God the best.
Yeah, so we are urging you today, please lean on grace. Please do so. I know you're overwhelmed. I know it's almost end of year. You're looking at your targets. You're thinking, I should have achieved this or that place where your diary or your notebook, somewhere where you wrote things down, your vision when you began the year, and now you're looking at it, you go, oh my God, time is running fast. Oh, I should be doing this or that. Listen, lean on grace. Just lean on the grace of God, because that is what will carry you through, even for you to realize this is who God has defined me. Hii pressure yote najipatia, I will end up leaning on my own strength, and what will happen? Nitapambana, nitakazana, nitangangana, and that's not your portion as a child of God. So today, lean on grace. And that is how we are ending this episode. Thank you so much for joining us. Please make sure to subscribe, comment, share, like on Good News Mental Space across all social media platforms. Let's meet in the next episode.
Bye.